Hello. I thought I'd do a little video on how I'm using these bits of equipment, how I put together kind of my ambient performances using these few devices. Um, I like to be as minimal as possible. And so I've really restricted myself to having a really small footprint of gear. So these are the three main things. So I've got the 4.4 Mark II. This I've got samples loaded up, um, and I'm going to play them chromatically. Perhaps I'm sometimes using effects. Um, and that then goes into the microcosm. You might have seen this pedal on YouTube and stuff like that, Instagram. There's a lot of people using it for ambient textures. It is really cool. It's like a glitchy reverb delay type effect. I'm going from the 4.4 into here, then into this, where I'm recording snippets of audio. A lot of people like to put this end of chain, but I like to kind of switch through the different effects, apply the effect to what's coming from here, and then being able to record that into audio on this device. This is my Eurorack. It's 60 HP. It's all centered on performance based. I've got no modulation. It's not kind of generative press play, CV modulated kind of things. It's all hands on and allows me to adjust things in real time. So I've got kind of 4 layers. And those 4 layers are summed together in the Dope mixer here. And then at the end of the chain, I've got the Happy Nerding Effects Aid, which I really love. I love having just a little bit of delay at the end of the chain. And this is really quality stereo. It's got lots of algorithms. And it sounds very, very natural, and it's a very small footprint. I used to have the 2 HP verb, but I found that had a bit of a high-pitched wailing noise, and I didn't think the quality was that good, but this thing is really nice. Okay, so let's go over to the left-hand side. So I've got a mutable instruments ears clone. Now I'm literally using this as a preamp. So 4.4 pedal, gains getting boosted here to bring it into Eurorack compatible level. So my first looper is the 2 HP loop, which is a very simple, very small mono looper, which is great. And then I move into the Lubad. I've got this Lubad, which is kind of a 2 deck, 2 mono deck looper. It's got a few more controls, more hands-on control than the 2 HP loop, such as being able to change the speed, go reverse in increments. And then I can change the start and length, which is quite cool. And then the final layer is the Qubit Nebula. This gives me some kind of granular textures, which is quite nice as well. And so I've got 4 layers in total. Now the cool thing, especially with these two, is they've got this decaying overdub feature, often called frippatronics. And that means that when I put a new layer on, the previous layer decays a little bit. You can just press record, keep it on recording, record a snippet, then press record again and just keep on recording over it, and everything will just kind of decrease in volume over time. Okay, so let me just do a quick example. There is a video on my YouTube channel where I'm actually using a the performance from this camera view using these in tandem. So do check out that. And this is then kind of just describing the kind of technique that I'm doing. Okay, so first off, what I'll do is I'll go into one of these loopers. So I'm in this looper, the 2HP loop at the moment. I like to use some ambient sounds as well. So I've got some, I've got some raining noise, some Tweety birds, and some kind of lapping waves. So I'll just record this, and then I'll press record, and then just record a snippet of it, which will just loop. The minute I've just got mixed set to dry at the moment, so we're not hearing any of these effects at the moment. I'll take that off effects and then take that off, and so now I've got that that layer. Now I can come out here and plug into the Lubad. I'm using the aux input, and that allows me to kind of select which side I want to record onto. Now the channels are actually normalized, and they have individual inputs here. I've just plugged input into the input, which means I don't get spill between the tracks. That kind of confused me a little bit when I first experimented with this, because I didn't want to have to plug into each of these. I want to plug into one source and use this aux, and I can slide over, which is cool. So I've got some samples on here, so I'm going to use this one, just like this paddy sound, and I can just go into chromatic mode, and I'm just using pentatonic minor. And now what I can do is just press record on this, then just record a bit of a loop, and then I'll let it breathe a little bit, and then come off record, and we can hear that looping. I did another video on my YouTube channel just using the 4.4, talk about building up asynchronous looping textures, and basically this is what I'm doing, but with these devices, whereas that video is purely just on the 4.4, but this allows me to do everything in real time, which is really cool. So now what I'll do is I'll slide it over there. Let me bring in a bit of the mosaic, and I'm going to go down into a lower octave, and then just record another layer. Cool. And then when I'm ready, just come off that, and then I've got that kind of looping element. I've got a piano sample here, so I'll come out of here. Let's go into the nebula. This sounds like this. Let's go a bit higher, bring in the mosaic to this. Nice. The Qubit Nebula has this feature where it's got two granular engines. It's got this kind of left hand side one, which is this kind of time stretchy FFT almost kind of effect, and then on the right hand side it's got what you expect to be kind of little snippets granular. It's got, because it blends between them, in the middle is the selection when you want to record. So I'll put it in the middle, press record, just record a little snippet, and then I can take that out, and then if I fiddle with this, bring in some overlaps, and then slide this to this side, then I've got that decay, it's typical kind of granular sound. I've got speed as well, which is really cool, because we play the grains at different speeds, unrelated pitch, and then pitch change, jump in octaves, and then anywhere in the mount, which is quite nice. Yeah, so that gives me a bit of texture like that if I want. If I bring it over to the other side, you can hear it's got this kind of stuttering, nice kind of smearing effect, which is nice. And I can scan that. Again, I'm not using any modulation. Everything I'm doing is by hand, because I just like it that way. Bring it to that. And effectively the nebula is just a looper, but it's just a granular looper. Bring that down. And then I might want to add something else. I think I've got, if I bring it into, take it back to here, a harp sound, which is nice. Just slide to another effect. And then I can bring it over to which deck I want. The cool thing is, as well, is I can slow this down. Slow this down, half speed, and then actually I tell you what I'll do. If I go half speed in reverse, and then record a bit of this. Because I've slowed it down, it's obviously made the loop quite large, but then it's come back around again there, so you can hear it kind of recording, and then I can come back into here. I think I've got a bass sound here, go into chromatic. I'll change that to tonal. Yeah, and that's effectively how I'll go, and I'll just keep on jumping around, changing effects, maybe having some effects on here as well. Yeah, and just jumping between all of these things, bringing them in and out, slowing them down, turning them off. Yeah, and building up textures, which is quite cool. The 2 HP loop does have half speed. That's reverse. Shift and mode's reverse. Shift and record is half speed. That's right. Yeah, cool. And then I'll just bring it down. And then just bring that up. Cool. So this is how I construct a live set. So everything is improvised, apart from the fact that I've got some select samples that I want to use, and the order of them might change and how I build that up. So sonically, there's some coherency every time, but how I then interact with all of this is purely in the moment. And I love having, again, I mentioned, love having a small footprint of gear. I perform a lot, I travel a lot via public transport, so I need to have gear that I can put in the rucksack and then take away with me that's going to give me kind of maximum effect. And I want everything to be hands-on. I've had lots of different modules over time. If you have a look through my YouTube channel, there's lots of different iterations of different racks that I've had, and things like this are great, ornaments and crime, but in the moment there's nothing better than a single use knob, and that's what I like. It gives me this instantaneous kind of soundscaping. Cool. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully it's given you a bit of insight into how I put together some of my ambient music in this current state. You know, things change all the time, but I'm very happy with this. It seems very stable at the moment. I'm very happy with the sounds I'm getting. And also, if you're thinking about maybe buying some of these items, devices, maybe I've given you a little bit more of a an audible demo to perhaps them and help you out with that. Okay, I'll leave it there, and yeah, check out some of my other videos. Thank you.